United States, fleeing fascism. And yet we have a president that sits in the Oval Office and incites and encourages violence on Jewish people, on people of color, on immigrants. Just over there is a Statue of Liberty. On it says, "Give me your tired, your poor, those who are huddled masses, yearning to breathe free." And yet, as there are many, many asylum seekers on their way to the United States right now, human beings, mothers, children, families, yearning to be free, yearning exactly for the invitation that's put on the Statue of Liberty. The exact invitation put in the Statue of Liberty. We have a person in the Oval Office who incites violence, says lies about who these people are, and denies them their humanity. I want to live in a better country. I want a better country for my family, for my grandparents, for the children that I will have one day. And while Trump is in office, that is not possible. We are not free until we are all free. Our country is in great danger right now. It continues to be in danger every single day. And this is a movement not just about removing the Trump administration, but creating a better country that can work for all of us finally. A we the people that finally includes all of us. That is what this is about. So by the people, we are dedicated to the broader movement to create an America for all of us. For the first time ever in this country's history, we are dedicated to the movement of impeaching Trump. Yeah. So if you're with us, make some noise. Yeah. So we have a couple different speakers here today who are going to share why they are also part of this movement. And if you want to join, you can text right now. Take out your phone. Send 555-888.
We're in the front. Come walk to where are we?
It's on this sign right here. So thank you so much, and let's get this party started.
Right near the Castle Clinton, right in front of it. Do you know where that is?
When trans women are under attack,
Did you see the balloon yet? Okay.
What do we do?
Right in front of it as well. Right in front of the guy.
So this is the teaching moment. When we say trans women are under attack, y'all respond.
Okay, come towards. We're on
Stand up like that.
the side of him.
All right. When trans women are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. When Jewish people are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. When black people are under attack, what do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. What do we do? Stand up like that. Hey y'all! I would like to bring forth another speaker. Y'all probably know her. Patricia, on July 4th, climbed the statue of How many of y'all felt that from the bottom of your heart? She climbed the Statue of Liberty to bring forth an issue around families being separated, children being separated from mothers, their fathers, their guardians. We are living in horrific times, y'all, and I just want to say, I remember where I was. I was actually home with my nieces and nephews. I flew from New York to Miami home because my birthday is July 5th. So I flew home to be with my family on July 4th. And I got the news, I turned on the news on the news. I automatically had to gather my nieces and nephews and talk to them about the impact of what this meant. This black woman, an African woman, standing on the Statue of Liberty. And so, it was not only bold and courageous, it's so much into history. She literally put her body on the line for someone else. And in this time where Trump is continuing to incite violence on us, we have to continue to show up for each other, because we got, y'all, in this movement. So I will not continue to preach. I will pass the mic to allow Patricia to speak. Thank you so much. Hello!
Today is impeachment parade featuring Trump baby balloon. Here it is, my contribution to your fragile ego. I know it's not politically correct to say it, but I'll say it, and I'll say it loud. When the mayor of London gives the go-ahead to fly a giant baby balloon that is 6 meters high, 19 feet, close to the UK Parliament in anticipation of your arrival, you are a buffoon! Yeah! When toilet paper start clinging to your shoes on Air Force One, you are a piece of trash! Yeah. When you are endangering national security with your insecure iPhones, you are a traitor! When your critics are sent suspicious bomb packages ahead of the midterm elections as a desperate attempt to save your presidency, you are a fake president! I'm not done. Okay, it looks like I am kind of done here. 1 second. So you heard of the caravan that's coming from Mexico? Yeah. I want to address that a little bit. All jokes aside, these are human beings. And the reason they're coming to our country is because, as far as I'm concerned, no human is illegal on stolen land. We are all immigrants. We are all from some other countries. So we should have open borders and not capitalism trying to control who comes here and who doesn't come here. Enough of all the regulations that say some countries should allow to have visas and some other people can travel anywhere they want without a visa. Enough of the patriarchy system that is rotten and that is dividing us. So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask and urge everyone to come out and vote this November 6th on Tuesday. Tell your friends to register because this election is more important than ever before. The stakes are too hard. As a country, we stood so low, I had to climb the Statue of Liberty. Can you believe that? I could have died that day, my friends. This is no joke, and it's not over. Because guess what? Monday, December 17, I have a trial. I bet none of you knew that. Not many people know that. So I want for you to stay informed with what's happening with our country. We are facing a humanitarian crisis. I am calling for the UN to take this matter seriously. We cannot live like this. Enough! Repeat after me. Enough!
Enough!
2 more times. Enough!
Enough!
1 last time. Enough!
Enough!
Now, remember the children that I sacrificed my life for? They are still in concentration camps. At the time back in April, these children were taken in different states throughout the United States. It's graceful, it's an atrocity, and it's an abomination. It's apprehensive to the Thank you.
You're awesome.
Hey, y'all. So Patricia brought up a really great point.
Thank you. You didn't know you were going to come to work, right?
That will take place in our lifetime. If you're not involved in voting, if you're not involved in getting people out to vote, please, I beg you, I ask you to get involved. We need all hands on deck. And you don't have to go knock doors. Call your family members. Who you're voting for. Why? Find 5 family members. Find 5 friends. Find 5 co-workers. Because this is what is at stake. Our lives are at stake. And so by the people, we understand the importance of voting. We also understand the importance. We also understand the importance of active voting. Impeachment is real, and it is important, and it's impossible because in the Constitution it sets the grounds for how we the people can impeach Trump and the administration. So, before I go to rambling more and more and more, I want us to place our feet flat on the ground, have a moment to close our eyes, and reimagine what the future will be once Trump is gone. Reimagine what our democracy can be after Trump is gone. Because it's up to us to make it possible. So if y'all really believe that, let me get some fists in the air. I believe that we will win. 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 Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump. So, the next person I would like to call up is Tracy. Tracy is an amazing artist. I don't even have to say no more after this because she's about to bless y'all with her artistry. Thank you, Tracy.
Hi, how y'all doing? My name's Tracy Cox, and I am an opera singer with the Metropolitan Opera, and I am here today to talk about patriotism.
Mike's not on.
Can you hear me?
It's on.
Oh, beautiful. How is it that we live in a democracy that does not represent the majority? For spacious skies. It's because this nation was founded by and for wealthy white men. They allow more people in the room now, but somehow we can't seem to get a chair at the table. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that white men know what's best for the rest of us. For amber waves of rain. I can't tell you how sick I am of this paternalism, this agreement that the white male experience is the only one that counts, the only blood that bleeds, the only life that matters. I'm so sick of Republicans portraying themselves as the party of moral authority, the party of nation, of God, of family, of civility, and the incredible cynicism they do it with. These players are not for country, but only for the accumulation and maintenance of their own power.
Yes.
Vote them out.
The fact is, when people turn out to vote, Democrats win. Woo! When they don't turn out, when they can't, Republicans win. They are counting on us not showing up because they know that the strength of their arguments will never win the fight. deception, denial, and disenfranchisement have they ever gotten anywhere? For purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. So many of us learned from our textbooks as children these two things: that America was the greatest nation, the most egalitarian, the most just, the most strong, its destiny manifested by God Himself. And two, that it was finished, that this more perfect union had been fully formed, and that all we needed to do to maintain it was to vote. America, America, God shed His grace on thee. Yes, it is our moral imperative to vote, to fight voter suppression till our knuckles bleed. But that is only one part of the work to be done, to build a government that reflects our vision of democracy today, now. And I refuse to listen to anyone who tells me that I am not patriotic for rejecting the status quo. Woo!
Yeah, here, here.
It is precisely because I love my country that I demand that it live up to its proclaimed values. Life, liberty, equality, justice for all. It is our patriotic duty to stand up and say that right now, this government is not by the people, it is by the oligarchs.
Yes.
And crown my good. It is our patriotic duty to kneel and say we will not pay police with our tax dollars to kill and terrorize black people with impunity. With brotherhood. It is our patriotic duty to provide refuge to those who seek asylum. And crown my good. It is our patriotic duty to fight the gun lobby with every ounce of strength that we have. It is our patriotic duty to take action so that white nationalists do not feel empowered in this country. And crown my good with brotherhood. And the first step in this action is to vote. Vote out the Craven Coalition on November 6th, and then work with focus and determination to impeach and remove the white nationalist in chief, the man who does not hold America the beautiful dear, and who will destroy this nation if we let him. America is what we make it, nothing more, nothing less. From sea to
Hey y'all! Thank y'all for being here. Also, last week was hell. I'm from Florida, and so when it came out that the bomber, the person who made the packages was from Florida, was not just to speak and give us an overview around why he's doing this work, the importance of this work, and the importance of calling out Trump in this way. Y'all down to hear from him? Yeah. Woo! Thank you, Jim, so much.
Okay.
Hello, New York City! My name is Jim. That's as far as I'll go. I am the founder and organizer of the People's Motorcade. I live 5 miles from Trump National in Bedminster. We have been protesting at his golf course for the past 2 years. Rain or shine, few or many, we persist to resist. Yeah. I'm not going to take a lot of your time because I'd like someone else from our organization to speak, but I have 2 things to say to you. Vote! The second thing is, given everything that's happened over the past week and over the past years of violence that has gone on in America, the political violence, the suppression of votes, the last thing I'm going to say is, we will not be silenced! I'd like to introduce you now to Gotham Jones, a member of our crew, very important. Oh yes, and I'd like to thank my entire balloon crew to put up baby Trump today. There's a stalwart group. They travel around the country when they can. We were recently out in LA. We appeared in Chicago, Grand Rapids, Palm Beach, Wilmington, North Carolina. We were in West Hollywood yesterday. We're traveling all over the country. We're in D.C. on November the 11th for Veterans Day. So keep tuned to social media. So now I'd like to turn it over to Gotham Jones, and so he can share some comments with you also. Thank you.
Thank you all very much. It's great to be here in New York City with the baby Trump balloon. And I want to talk a little bit about why we do this. Let me tell you that Jim and I did not get into this because we're really into helium or balloons. We got into this, and I'll tell you that the baby, the depiction of the President of the United States in a diaper, is it a little childish? Is it a little silly? Yes, but the issues we're bringing attention to are deadly serious. And if we needed any reminder, not that we did, we got that in the last week. What we've seen in the last week. We fly the balloon because families belong together. We fly the balloon because people should not lose their lives senselessly to gun violence, especially in a house of worship. We fly the balloon because our democratic values are under attack every single day. We fly the balloon to bring attention to these issues. That Puerto Rico is still without power. That's why we took the baby down near Mar-a-Lago. We fly the balloon for women's rights. That's why we had the balloon at the Women's March in Chicago. We fly the balloon to bring attention to issues near and far and wide from around the country and the world. That's why we were at Politicon in Los Angeles last week, and so many places around the country. And I'll tell you one other thing. In a moment like this, with what's happened in the last week, it feels like the stakes are so high that something like the balloon almost seems frivolous. But I'll tell you that at its best, the balloon and why we gather reflect our highest ideals. Because what makes us all American is not that we have the same skin color, it's not that we speak the same language, it's not that we worship the same way or believe the same thing or came from the same country. It's that we hold the same truths to be self-evident, that all of us are created equal. It's that we pledge allegiance to the same flag. And it's with those values in mind, and it's with such concern for those values being at risk, that we bring the balloon around the country, and that we're here today. And I will close by saying that there are people behind us that are counter-protesting, and we support their First Amendment rights to do what they do. But when the grassroots organizes, that when people from all walks of life get together to say that we will not stand silent when our democracy is under threat, this is what democracy looks like. Thank you all so very much.
Show me what democracy looks like!
This is what democracy
Impeachment.
Impeachment! What do we want?
Impeachment.
When do we want it?
Now.
What do we want?
Impeachment.
When do we want it?
Now!
If we don't get it!
Shut it down!
If we don't get it!
Shut it down!
If we don't get it! If we don't get it!
Shut it down!
What do we want?
Impeachment!
When do we want it?
Now!
Let's go, y'all! So, we have a lot of people, this is our kickoff event, and we're dedicated to the impeachment of Trump and the GOP administration. We will not stop until we reach impeachment. Do you hear me? Are y'all on board? We will not stop until we get impeachment. Right now we have a couple of ambassadors walking around to make small donations because this is a grassroots event, and we are committed to saying and doing Trump 2020 will not happen. Y'all understand? Trump 2020 will not happen. And we have to feel that collectively in our bones that Trump 2020 will not happen. We also need to start organizing around impeachment. It's all right to vote. It's all right to get out to vote. But what is the next steps after voting? We have to be collectively aligned with impeachment. This is our constitutional right to impeach someone who does not stand up for our values. Or else we'll be dealing with 2 more years plus Trump running again for presidency. That's the reality that we at right now, y'all. And I just want y'all to know. Sickening. So, if you want to get involved with By the People, please text 555-888 to join the movement. What's the number? 555-888 to join the movement. Thank you all. So our next steps for this event will be actually going on a little walk. If y'all want to walk with us, we got y'all. Y'all will be safe in our hands. We will not announce where we're going, but we will be on the move, and I just want to let y'all know we got y'all. Okay? That makes sense. Are y'all ready? Yeah. So I'm going to leave from back here. We're going to travel this way, but I just want to let y'all know. Let's get it. It's time to march, and it's time to hit the streets. All power to the people.
Nice. Nice.
That side is tight on the back. Okay.
Oh no, I mean I waiting for it.
No, I meant like.
Oh, I got you.
Alexandra. I am an organizer with By the People. We are a new group that's dedicated to building the growing movement for impeaching the Trump administration, impeaching and removing them from the Trump administration from office. And I'm here today because today is an act of that movement, of us as Americans, as people, coming out in the street and saying that enough is enough, and we're calling for impeachment now.
I think the reasons that people want to impeach Trump are quite clear. But is there really a path to doing this?
Yeah. I mean, almost 49% of Americans right now support impeachment. There's a lot of talk right now, is it actually feasible? Will Democrats do it? The reality is that we actually can't count on our members of Congress, Republicans or Democrats, either way, to do anything unless they're forced to do that. That's how our government works. That's what our politicians have showed us. And so what we're really interested in and what we think is necessary for impeachment to happen is a public movement. We need to turn the passive support, almost the majority of Americans that do support impeachment, actually to come out and say that out loud in public in the street and build the movement. That's how we'll actually get our members of Congress, who are supposed to be doing the will of the people, to actually see forth with executing impeachment.
I know there are a number of groups who have come together to put this activity together today, and I know this balloon is also traveling across the country. Can you talk about, in the face of some of the violence that we've seen, or the attempted bombings, and counter-protesters becoming violent, have you or any of the other groups had any threats or things that you need to be careful about, that kind of thing?
Yeah, we have not yet personally received any threats. We definitely are on alert because, as you said, there's escalating violence that's happening right now. It is being provoked by Trump himself. This is the reason why he is unfit for office, why he's actually dangerous, is because he incites violence and he emboldens extremists who act and hurt and murder people. So we ourselves haven't gotten any attacks yet, although some of the other groups, I think, who are here have received some threats. But for us, we believe in the need to stand up and be brave in this moment and continue to take action even in the face of threats.
And the final question is, what would you have people watching at home do? What action would you ask for them to do?
Yeah. First off, there's 3 steps. Number 1, vote in the upcoming election. Vote for candidates who are going to actually stand up to Trump. So voting is important. It's not irrelevant. And then 2, be out and be public. Come out in support of impeachment. Talk to your family, talk to your neighbors, talk to your coworkers, and take action out in public. If Americans continue to passively support for impeachment, but we don't take action with it, our members of Congress aren't going to hear us, and that's not how anything has ever been won in this country. So join the movement and be public in support of impeachment.
Thank you so much. Yeah. You're watching act.tv. Where this baby Trump balloon that you're seeing on the screen right now has been inflated and is about to take to the air. I should do 10. Thank you. Oh, you do. Show up, babe. Impeach Trump! All right, thank you. Thank you.
Oh, yeah? Oh, great.
So you want me to just kind of get some more balloons?
The handheld. It seems enormous. Okay. That's weird because I didn't touch anything. So I guess who knows what's happening.
Thank you.
Tons of cameras.
Unless you don't want to talk. I'm happy to do it.
You know what? One more time. They can't write words.
Good?
Yeah, right.
Impeach Trump! Impeach Trump! Wait, where are they?
Okay.
Trump is a buffoon! Trump is a buffoon! Okay. Impeach Trump!
You tell him, Pat.
Trump is a buffoon!
Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Hey! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Ho, ho! Donald Trump has got to go! Hey, hey!
Donald Trump has got to go. Fuck Donald Trump.
Fuck Trump.
Donald Trump has got to go. Trump has got to go.
If you ask me, I'll say open the border, let the caravan in. No more capitalism, no more patriarchy. We are a democracy and we have to celebrate diversity. Woo! Impeach Trump. Impeach Trump now. Impeach Trump now. Impeach Trump now. Impeach Trump now.
Impeach Trump now!
Impeach Trump now. Impeach Trump now. Trumpists must go. They are a fascist regime. We do not want a fascist regime. We do not want a white nationalist. We are a loving country and we welcome everybody. Everyone is an immigrant anyway. Return the children. Return the children that you have stolen. That is child kidnapping. Return our children. We are facing a humanitarian crisis, everybody. You need to come out and vote November 6th. Come out and vote November 6th. No more concentration camps.
When have the other...
Woo!
Straight from the morning.
Yeah. No, I was pretty...
They didn't know it was going to happen, and then we're going to come back to work.
I've been back in court though. That was that one first time. I've been back in court. And I'm coming back, going back on December 17th. I know my friends. Yes, I remember. She was there that first time. But it doesn't stop on the first time. A lot of times, you know, we're reacting and we're not being proactive.
You're amazing. You are so amazing. I was like, oh, shit. Can I picture with you?
Yes. Let's just remember it's not over, not for the children and not for me. Okay. Come on!
Doing good? Yeah. All over the place. Yeah. How many times you
Go ahead, go ahead.
All right. Okay, Florence, look that way. That way.
Trump has got to go.
Hold on, I got to
Trump has got to go. Trump has got to go. Trump has got to go. Trump
Just me.
has got to go. Trump has got to go.
It's not the bad man.
Has got to go.
Thank you.
Has got to go. Trump 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 has got to go. Impeach now. 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 Trump has got to go. 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 Impeach now. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? Impeachment. When do we want it? If we don't get it, shut it down. 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 What do we want? Impeachment. What do we want it? Now. What do we want? Impeachment. What do we want it? Now. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. If we don't get it, shut it down. I say if we don't get it, shut it down. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Show me what democracy looks like. This is what democracy looks like. Woo! Woo! I got fired up! We fired up! We fired up! Y'all don't sound fired up! We fired up! We fired up! We want impeachment! We want impeachment! We fired up! We fired up! We want impeachment!
I gotta get some water. I'll be back. Yeah.
Get act.tv some gloves. You need gloves.
I do the once a time.
I think that should work. Hi everyone, you're watching act.tv's live coverage of the Impeach Trump balloon and action, coming to you live from Battery Park. There is a parade going on, Impeach Trump parade, where people are calling for the impeachment of Donald Trump for a number of horrible things. I mean, there were speakers, if you've been watching for a while, there were speakers in front of this balloon. This balloon that you see on your screen has been traveling around the United States, drawing attention to the fact that I believe that the number was given 49% of Americans would like Donald Trump impeached. Right, and
socially, I'm kind of liberal, but big part of the Second Amendment. Is that good enough to talk to me? I'm about the First Amendment too. Big supporter. Big supporter. Why do you say that?
Attacking journalists.
And you're watching act.tv's live coverage of the Impeach Trump parade here in New York City, where, as you can see on our screen, this beautiful balloon of a baby Trump acting just as petulantly, according to the creator, as the regular Trump. He has, as you can see in his left hand, he has his cell phone, and he's raging out, and behind, I don't know if you can see, but he's wearing a diaper, and it's really a beautiful artistic creation. And there was a demonstration right in front of this balloon, which again is in Battery Park in New York City, inflated earlier today. The parade marchers have gone up Broadway from basically the tip of Manhattan up to I'm not sure where they're going to end up. I think you'll see if you keep watching our stream. But again, you're watching the act.tv's live coverage of the Impeach Trump parade. The quote that was given by one of the speakers is that the number that up to 49% of Americans actually would like Trump impeached. We're not sure if the organizers were not sure if there was a path to impeachment at this point, but they do believe that keeping the focus on the fact that he is not fit for office is very important, and this balloon has drawn an enormous amount of attention. It's hard to estimate crowd size, but I'd say several hundred people were here to watch the inflation of the balloon and the speeches, and many tourists. This is a very hot spot for tourists. Many tourists have come by and taken photos with the baby Trump and whatnot. So it is kind of causing some excitement, the balloon. It's causing a crowd to draw and even ask questions. So again, act.tv's live coverage of the Impeach Trump parade here in New York City.
Try to capture this boat all night.
Everybody got the balloons blown up. Hold them in the air. The great part about it is there's impeachment. There's impeachment. Balloons in the air. Yeah, it's a baby balloon in the air too. That's perfect. Young woman. Sign up to you being planted solidly on the ground. I want us to feel really feel our neighbors right now. Because we ain't gonna win unless we all together. Although everybody here may not see eye to eye. We fight for their freedom too. So, repeat after me. I believe that we will win.
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 Impeach now.
Impeach now.
Impeach now.
Impeach now.
I believe that we will win.
I believe that we will win.
Impeach.
So I'll just talk to you and you just read the answers and oh boy, it's winning. You can just talk into your Can you talk a little bit about why it's important to, at this time in history, to be active as an activist?
Folks, please listen to me. At this time, it's very, very important to come out and become an activist. I personally, I'm going to tell you, I speak from the heart. I'm getting sick and tired of rallies with the same familiar faces and not enough people on that. Sick and tired of rally with now so many familiar faces and not enough people showing up. So you need to come out. It's not easy. The people who come out don't get paid for it.
That's great. What would you say to people who say, well, being out in the street doesn't do anything? It doesn't have an effect. Because that's a lot of people make the excuse of not coming out because they think, oh, it's not going to do anything.
For the people who say coming out on the street doesn't do anything, it doesn't have any impact, I'll say, boo. What kind of excuse is that? You do enjoy coming out on Halloween, don't you? I know you do because you go and purchase your costume. Some of you take a lot of time sewing and hitting the street and partying all night. That is effective. Why can't be protesting effective? Of course it is effective. What kind of question is that? I really don't have an answer for you. We have to create a greater impact. More voices create change. We need to start being comfortable because when others are hurting, we are hurting. Their pain and suffering is our pain and suffering.
So no, I don't want to hear that kind of excuse. Okay. That's why I chose to be a full-time activist, because if I was doing 9 to 5 like you, I would have the same excuses. Ooh.
Thank you so much. You're very welcome. We're talking.
Hook up to my
I saw it like the other day.
Thank you all so much. I'm going to pass the mic to Dr. because he has to say something.
Thank you, Brittany. Are y'all ready to keep fighting? Are y'all finished? Are we going to keep going? As everyone texted by the people, the 555-888. Get out your phones right now if you haven't done it. We're going to keep organizing New York City so that we get thousands of people in the street to remove the president. So say it with me. By the people. To 555. 888. Don't forget to text him. We want to keep you in this fight with us, and we are going to win. Thank you so much for being here. If you want to come back to Battery Park and help us clean up, that's very welcome. We want to leave the space as nice as we found it. Thank you again. High five your neighbor also before you leave. Make sure you meet someone.
I'm going to go now.
It's okay, I can go back.
Remind everybody, November 6th. I want to see everybody come out. I have a picture with you out in the street after Election Day. It's not over. Lives are on the line.
And a baby Trump.
Sex violence, people are dying. Or you can do something about it. Protest. The nation was founded on what we're going to do is take to the streets. It's not over. So we need to get it. Good. Okay.
Live coverage of the Impeach Trump parade here in New York City. You're seeing on the screen the large large baby Trump balloon, complete with petulance, hot air, and cell phone in his hand. In front of this balloon, one of New York City's staple Trump puppet, anti-Trump protesters has come. If you've been watching for a while, you know there were speakers discussing the importance of, pointing out that 49% of the American populace would like Donald Trump impeached, and they also discuss how he was unfit for presidency. We've been covering this event live, and this particular balloon live, for the last, I don't know, maybe half an hour. And behind us, as you can see behind us, there are a gathering of counter-protesters with very large American flags. And there's, this has dwindled quite a bit, but as you can see, there are lots of folks still here. This event actually wound down quite a long time ago, with most of the anti-Trump protesters marching uptown. But yet, these pro-Trump protesters seem to have the largest, reddest, whitest, and bluest flags ever. I guess they're trying to make a visual aspect out of in response to the beautiful visual aspect that is the very large Trump balloon over here. So I'm not going to give these folks too much camera time, but I did think it was important to get a sense of how close these anti-Trump protesters are to this, or excuse me, those pro-Trump protesters are to this large anti-Trump, petulant Trump baby. There's a beautiful American flag with the United Corporations of America passing by. Again, you're watching ACT.tv's live coverage of the impeachment parade, complete with this beautiful balloon. It's getting slightly windy here, so as you can see, the baby is starting to act up.
She's coming down.
And they're bringing the balloon down now, unfortunately, because it is very windy. This is
minutes to take your last one.
Okay.
Actually, they're going to take it down in a few minutes. Apparently, the balloon cannot fly in more than 15-mile-an-hour wind.
My hands are a bit shaky. Super shaky. Is it? It's all right.
Cold?
Can't be cold from British Columbia.
All right, 4 minutes.
4 minutes?
I'm a volunteer.
That's great. That's great.
Derek,
that's great.
Artists and inspired people, but anybody.
I think we're good.
Yeah. So
it's fine.
let me know.
Okay. We may need you.
So I want you to back up.
Autonomous activists, anyone. Yeah, I'm doing like change stuff. Little like environmental projects.
Is that a decent shot? This is the one.
Awesome.
All right, time is perfect.
Yeah, it's in the middle of DC, and it was like.
So, this mic is going to pick it up, so just talk as if there's something coming out. And just, like this. And just tell the camera your name and the group that you're with, and then talk about the event that's happening.
I'm Rebecca. I'm a volunteer with By the People, which is a movement trying to impeach Trump. We have a 3-phase plan on how to impeach Trump, and this is one of our first events that we're putting on.
What are the phases?
I can't speak to all of the phases right now. I'm only a volunteer. But
they don't let you talk as a volunteer?
Fair.
What did you do here today at the event?
I hope to absorb new people into the movement, trying to sign people up, because we know that grassroots is the only way that we're really going to be able to make sure that Trump is impeached, especially after the election. If the Democrats win back the House, we know that we need to put pressure on our congresspeople to do that. In addition, just as short a time ago as yesterday, we've seen this insightful violence and not condemning by a leader. And one thing I keep thinking about is when a similar shooting happened at a black church a few years ago, President Obama gave this really powerful speech and saying "Amazing Grace," and I really wanted that moral leadership for my Jewish community. I'm Jewish, and I really wanted someone that could have that moral leadership, but I know I'm not going to get that from Trump. And so it's all the more reason.
What would you encourage people watching at home to do?
First of all, I'm going to Buy the People. It's by the PPL.us. Sign up for our email list and get involved. I'd also really recommend, obviously, vote next week. That's really important. And also right now, I think it's just important to be in community with others and to be in solidarity with groups that are supportive of impeaching Trump.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. Thank you. We're watching the Impeach Trump parade here live in Battery Park, and we're getting a really excellent visual of Trump deflating and calming down. So it's really we wish Trump was deflating in real life, but we'll have to just settle for him deflating in balloon life. This is the creator of the balloon up front here, holding Trump in the unmentionable area. He has Trump by the pussy.